Well, we're so happy to be bringing some music now to the TV set with Sylvain DELANGE, President APAC at Believe, and that is a global digital music and artist development company headquartered over in France. Sylvain, bonjour.
Bonjour, Audrey.
It's wonderful to have you here on Inspire and Connect.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you. So maybe we could have you start by briefly summarizing Believe's journey and what makes it a leader in today's music industry.
Sure. So Believe is a global music company that was built in France 20 years ago. We're actually celebrating our 20-year anniversary very soon.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you very much. And so the company originally started as mostly a distribution company focusing on giving access to artists, independent artists and independent labels to get access to the global music digital ecosystem. So essentially the music platforms such as Spotify, Apple Music, Apple, YouTube, and so on. And so our job is essentially to maximize visibility, promotion, monetization for those artists all around the world.
Wonderful. So empowering local artists, labels, and publishers to grow their audience online. We want to talk about the from access to success strategy support that you guys have. How does Believe's mission and this strategy support artist development and practice?
Sure. So as I said earlier, the company was initially built on the premises that a lot of independent artists and independent label didn't have the same access to digital music platforms as a more global company would have. So we initiated, I would say, the first 10 to 15 years of the company, including in Asia Pacific, but I'll get to that later, was focused on building the technology, the platforms, the tools to be able to give that access to the artists and to the platforms to maximize, again, visibility, monetization on platforms, leveraging in a new digital ecosystem what it means to be an artist, what it means to be a musician in a world that has completely shifted from a physical space to a digital space. And so the first step was really providing that access. The next step was to accompany and get a step further to go and work with the artist to bring them towards the top charts. So the ambition was not only just to give access, but also to be an active player in providing not only support, but also materially impacting the development of artists all the way to the top charts. This means going through top 50, top 20, top 10 global or local Billboard charted artists.
Okay, we do want to hone in on APAC now, of course, and Believe's key achievements here over the past decade. And maybe if you can share a recent success story with us, that would be great.
Sure. So Believe story in Asia Pacific has started in 2013 when I joined the business, and I was tasked to build a business from scratch here in Asia Pacific. So we originally started in a few Southeast Asian territories plus India in 2013, and we progressively expanded all across Asia Pacific. Now we have more than 400 people across the region, and some of our biggest markets are India, Greater China, Indonesia, Thailand, Philippines, Vietnam, all those territories, Japan as well. Our mission again was to the same way as we did for the group, provide access at the beginning. We came in a space where, at the time, digital music platform did not exist. For some people who may remember the music ecosystem back in the days, it was essentially ringback tones in Asia. And so it progressively evolved with digital downloads, and then very, very quickly to streaming, either through audio streaming platforms such as Spotify or video streaming platforms such as Spotify. And so, again, our job was to progressively build the access to all those labels and artists. Progressively then, we started to realize that we could go much further than this and started to work closely with artists directly in most markets. So over the last 13 years, Believe has achieved market-leading position in all those markets. Now we are either number one, number two, or number three player in any of the markets that I mentioned before, i.e. Thailand, Indonesia, India, Philippines, Greater China. And in those markets, not only we are working hand in hand with artists and label, we are also developing them to the top. So to give you a specific example, in Thailand a few years ago, we signed a very young hip-hop artist. He was 16 years old at the time.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it was very early, and it was a hip-hop artist that really wanted to make it big. And so we started signing him. The artist has one mission for himself. He said, I would like to do 100 million views on YouTube. That was his goal. And he said, no matter how, whether I need to do 100 videos that each reach 1 million views, I want to reach that goal. So we started working with that artist. 4 years later, the artist's name is Saran. 4 years later, Saran is the most streamed artist in Thailand, #1 artist in the country. He's been rewarded last year at the top artist in Thailand at the Spotify Wrapped Award, and has been one of the most successful artists. And he's still very young, still 22 years old, has a long career ahead of him.
Wow, wonderful. So did he hit his goal?
He more than achieved, he overachieved his goal.
Fantastic.
And he has a long career ahead of him.
All right. Well, before you go, Sylvain, we do want to talk about the main growth drivers and key trends in the local music industry today. Maybe a quick one before you head off.
Sure. There's 3 key elements that I would say are the main growth driver. I think the first growth driver, which was probably the most interesting and the most surprising that we saw over the last 10 years, is that digital music, and especially the emergence of streaming, has actually reinforced and increased the market share for domestic artists in each of their country. We would have thought that maybe this would have given a bigger platform for international music. It's the opposite that happened. Actually, local artists have gained a lot of popularity, lowering the barrier to entry for a lot of those artists. So the first growth factor is growth of local artists, which we've been helping and focusing on for the last 10 years. The second element is that we are in a market, in markets in general, where paid streaming subscription is still relatively low compared to mature market. If you look at markets like Thailand, Indonesia, Philippines, India, all those markets are, if not at 5% penetration of the population, maybe lower, even lower than this. Thailand is at 5 or 6, Indonesia is around 1%, India is around 1%. When compared to some of the major economies in the world, Australia, New Zealand sits at more than 50% penetration of the population. European markets are well above the 30% range. Japan is at more than 25%, so which means that there's massive growth ahead of us as those economies develop, to further create monetization opportunities for independent artists in those spaces. So this is the second aspect. The fourth aspect, of course, is going to continue to develop, invest, and we think that those economies as a whole will grow with new monetization opportunities. So we're strong believers that, pun intended, that there will be a lot of opportunities, and the market, especially Asia Pacific, will continue to drive the growth for the group and for the entire music ecosystem in the region.
Okay, some great key numbers there, as well as great insights, music to my ears, I have to say. That was Sylvain DELANGE, President of APAC at Believe. It was great chatting with you today, and we hope that you have a good time at the event.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me, and have a great day ahead.
Thank you, you too.